What's going on, Chiefs Kingdom? My name is Jace Andrews, and you're watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. On today's show, the waiting period, it's over. That means the Chiefs and Brett Veach can start making sentences on practice squad. They can claim players off waivers, and boy, did they ever. They started hot early this morning. But before we get into the news, when Chiefs breaking news happens, you want to make sure you know. Well, the best way to do that is being subscribed to the Chiefs Report. We have latest breaking news, rumors, updates, everything you want and more all right here. So make sure you are subscribed. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Hit that little red subscribe button and join the Chiefs Report Kingdom. All right, let's start off with the first move that happened earlier this morning. The Chiefs claimed Darius Rush off waivers. The former cornerback in Indianapolis was a fifth-round draft pick this past year. Had a pretty decent preseason, had an interception in the first game along with a pass deflection throughout the three preseason games. The interception came against the Bills' backup quarterback, so not like he was going against a fourth-string guy. Overall, I think I like the signing. He is a guy who had a very good athletic profile coming out of the draft, a sub-4.4 40-yard dash. He can jump like no other. I'm telling you, athletically, this guy has the fit. He has the knowledge. It's just about if the Chiefs can kind of develop that, make him the player that he could be one day. I like the signing. Put him on the squad and let him develop. I was kind of surprised the Colts cut him, to be honest. So with this, the Chiefs, that was the first move that Brett Veach made this morning. He went in and immediately grabbed him off the waiver wire, put him on the squad. We don't know who got cut just yet. We're trying to figure that out. But I like the add here with Rush. We'll see what he can turn into this season. All right, another move that was also made, there was three players placed on IR. The three are Nico Remigio, along with Olakunle Fatukase, and then Jerome Carvin. These players will all be on the IR all season long. So I think the biggest one here to look at is Nico Remigio. He looked pretty good in the preseason, only had one game, and he had 4 receptions for 71 yards in it. He is a guy that the Chiefs could develop. Another one of those guys who's younger and maybe in the coming years could grow. So given the wide receiver room was really full, it's going to be a time project, I think. It's going to be one of those, you got to wait and see if he can develop. He wasn't going to make the team this year, so why not have him on IR? I like it. You put him on the IR, you let him kind of hopefully get some practice over the coming year, and then maybe next year he could pop on the squad and maybe make some damage. We don't exactly know, but for now, he will be on the IR for the entirety of the year. All right, before we get into the more news in the practice squad, I got to tell you about an awesome deal. You see, we're coming up on the Chiefs season, and if you're like me, I'm looking for some more Chiefs gear that I can put on for Game 1 against the Lions. Well, we got a deal. 40% off this awesome Chiefs tee. You can go to chatsports.com/ChiefsTee. I know I'm going to get one. I got to be ready for that first game. And if you want some new gear before the Chiefs 2023 season is underway, click the link down below. Again, chatsports.com/ChiefsTee. You can go in, 40% off a really nice t-shirt. So go get that deal and hook yourself up with some Chiefs gear. Let's get into the practice squad now, as here's the basic rules behind practice squad. 16 players total. 10 of those can be rookies or players with 9 or less regular season games. 4 can be players who with no more than 2 accrued seasons, so younger guys. And then 6 is the more or less veterans on the squad that you could bring in, put them on the practice squad, and see if maybe you could develop them right away. Let's start from the first 4 guys who were put on the practice squad. The first one was Reese Taylor, the cornerback. He was the first one Brett Veach selected this morning to put on the practice squad, and I see why. He had a decent preseason, not good enough to make the 53-man roster, but a guy I think you want to hold on to. 5'9", 188 Purdue guy. It's one of those that fits the other acquisitions that the Chiefs have had at the cornerback position. So I think it's a guy that, again, put him there, see what happens, and maybe he could make the squad. If you look at the cornerback room, you have McDuffie and Watson, your quarterback 1 and 2, and then nickel L'Jarius Sneed. Jones behind Watson. He's a younger guy. You could see him maybe pop out. And again, injuries come place. Things happen. Being on the practice squad is, hey, he can pop in at any moment in time this season. I like the add. He can be a guy that the Chiefs, again, could develop him. The second guy, no surprise, I think, is Deon Bush. He was a guy that was a close cut yesterday, not necessarily one that you were surprised to see cut, but one that you're like, dang, I wish he could have been on the squad. Well, guess what? He gets to be. He gets to be as he gets on the practice squad, and the potential for him to join the Chiefs is right there. So I like that move. The third guy is Danny Shelton, a defensive tackle. Again, this is going to help because the Chris Jones situation is just getting worse and worse and worse. I'm getting really scared. I have to be completely honest. I mean, you got to figure out something, a defensive line, and Shelton's just going to provide more depth. You had the trade yesterday with the Raiders for Neil Farrell Jr., but this line is just not good. It's not. I mean, to be quite honest, I would say the defensive line is maybe 25th in the NFL, and it stinks. You need something to happen. Neil Farrell was a great addition, but adding depth is the best option right now, I guess, and it just hurts because this defense is going to be rough, especially against the better running teams. I'm really scared, to be honest, but depth is there. You just got to hope something has worked out between Jones or a sort of trade can happen to get you a defensive tackle that can really help this squad. The fourth guy that was added this morning was Austin Reiter, the center, just kind of helping that offensive line. Nothing really to note here. A guy that, not necessarily a close cut, but with having depth comes getting the offensive line bolstered up. We saw some injuries acquired last year. May as well put in an extra center behind him. All right, let's go to 5 guys that were added pretty much all in succession to each other. Chu Godrick, Matt Bushman, Deneric Prince, Cornell Powell, and LaMichael Perine. If you look there, guess what? 4 skill positions, you want to count the tight end, Bushman. Interesting, I think is the word I would use for this because Perine was the guy I thought would make the roster, to be quite honest. He looked better than Clyde Edwards-Helaire. His stats in the preseason, pretty good. 16 carries and 4 receptions along with that touchdown catch against the Browns in the final preseason game. He was a guy that, I got to be honest, I thought was going to make the squad. I thought he was going to be the one to maybe jump CEH, get into that 3-hole. So it kind of stinks that you don't really have him there, but I like that he's on the practice squad. You also have Deneric Prince, a UDFA that was surprising, to say the least, in the preseason. You keep him around for a little bit, keep him on the practice squad, see if you can develop him, maybe even potentially just pop him in there. With this, though, I want to know from you, do you like the moves that Brett Veach has made? I want you to type Y for yes and type in for no. Again, Y for yes, in for no, as I would have to say it's a Y for me. It's definitely a yes. The moves fit with what I was upset about yesterday with the roster cuts, like LaMichael Perine. I really wanted him on the squad because I don't think CEH is really ready for this. So again, type Y for yes, type in for no in the comments if you liked the moves or you didn't like the moves. And if you didn't, tell me why. Tell me why if you put in. I want to know who you wanted to see on this practice squad that isn't there possibly yet or maybe not at all. So I mentioned LaMichael Perine, and there's one final note I want to hit. CEH is going to be still on the chopping block. Given that the Chiefs have kept two running backs on the practice squad, Deneric Prince and LaMichael Perine, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a cut or a trade away from getting booted off the Chiefs. And I'm not mad about that. This guy is not good. I don't really know why he's still in the squad. I liked LaMichael Perine better. I liked LaMichael Perine better in the preseason than Clyde Edwards-Helaire. In my opinion, he's a waste of a roster spot at this point. He has not developed. He's a first-round bust, and it just stinks that he's still here. LaMichael Perine, I thought, was going to boot him out, but he didn't. Now we're just going to have to see if the Chiefs are going to stick with CEH for the whole season or if they're just going to say, we'll trade you because we got 2 guys in the practice squad that we feel could easily be risen here to the 53-man roster. All right, before I leave you, I want you to follow me on Twitter at Jace Andrews _. There's a lot of moves that Brett Veach and Andy Reid still have to make, as right now they're at 9 players on that practice squad. I mentioned earlier, 16 is the max. So you do the math there, simple math. 7 guys still left that have not gotten onto this practice squad that the Chiefs can add that will be coming either later today or in the coming days. Also some waiver claims. Given the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year, probably not going to be adding anybody. I was really surprised they got the one today. But again, follow me on Twitter. I'll have all the info and news right there. Along with, I'll be tweeting out every single video. So follow me on Twitter at Jace Andrews _.